In this video, I'm going to talk about being able to learn simple piano melodies by ear. And we're going to focus on something called note direction. And if you watch until the end of this video, I'm going to give you another surprise tool that I think that you'll really love to further your piano learning journey. So when we're talking about learning songs by ear, there's different components of a song that you have to listen for. There's usually like the bass, there's usually the chords, there's usually what's called the chord progression. And again, if you're a complete beginner, you might be thinking, what is she even talking about? There's tons of videos that I will talk about chord progressions. But in this particular video, we're going to talk about one component of a song that does need a little bit of a trained ear, and that is the melody of the song. So a melody just basically being... So when you're listening for a melody, there's a few things you need to listen for. You have to excuse the wind is blowing outside. That's the noise that you're hearing. So when you're listening for a melody, there's a few things you need to listen for. Usually those two things are note direction, meaning are the notes going higher or are they going lower? The other thing you need to focus on is note distance, meaning, okay, if the note is going up, how far up is that note going from the previous note? I won't focus on that for this particular video. I will do another video on that. But for this particular video, we're going to do some exercises on ear training a melody based on the direction that the notes are going. So here, I'm going to start with C. Now, a few things you do need to know if you're a complete beginner. Number one, C is the white key to the left of the two black keys. And it goes D, E, F, G, like the alphabet. And after G, it's A, and then B, and then the next C, and then it just starts over. So the piano is just the same 7 white keys and the same 5 black keys that repeat themselves, either higher in tone or lower in tone, which again will be what this video is going to cover. So now, if we are dealing with melodies, whether it's the white key or the black key, again, you have to hear what direction the tones are going. So let's say if I were to play a scale, a C scale, it would sound like this. And you might even notice, even just by looking, but even by hearing what direction the notes are going, the notes are going higher in tone. Even if you were to close your eyes, and if I were to play it again, you can hear the notes are going higher. Right? And if a melody or a scale is going lower in tone, you're going to hear something like this. Right? So let's break down a really simple example. Let's break down the first part of Mary Had a Little Lamb. So we start with E, right? Mary. Even without really knowing what the next note is, you can hear the melody in your head because we've been hearing it since we were kids, right? So we know Mary Had a Little Lamb like the back of our hand. All we have to do is just replicate that on the piano. So Mary, right? We can hear, or you may not realize it, but you know that the next tone, if you were to sing it, you would actually be going lower in tone to get to Mary. All that does on the piano, it just replicates the note direction. So if you were to go from E to D, right, then you know that the next key after D is going lower in direction. And then if you were to hear the word had, so from Mary had, you'll hear that once again, the melody is going another key lower. So that brings us to C, right? And then you'll notice that there is a change in note direction. So we did Mary had, so those notes were going lower. But then if you notice when she sings, or whoever's singing it, so we went from had, there's a change in note direction, so now we're going back up in direction. So if we're at C for the word had, and if we're going that brings us back to D because D is higher than C. And then if you hear the next note again, you'll hear that once again, it is also going up in tone. So we're at and then li. Then that brings us again higher in melodic tone. And another detail is that sometimes the notes go up, sometimes the notes go down, but sometimes the notes stay the same. So for little lamb, it's just the same note. So we've already established that the word lit for little lamb is E, but also for little lamb, it's the same note. Little lamb, right? That means that all three notes are going to be the same note, which is just E. So all you have to do is just repeat the letter E 3 times. Right? So that is going to be one example of how to listen for melodies by ear with a focus in note direction. Before we get into the actual exercise, because we will do an exercise, I do want to bring to your attention that I do have a free piano in 3 steps video. If you are a complete beginner and you want to get your foot in the door when it comes to learning songs, that video is going to be good for you because it covers everything from how to name the notes to being able to play both hands together with basic chords and whatnot. So if you want a copy of that video, make sure you go into the description box and sign up for it. It is free, so you make sure that you do that before you leave this video. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of a training exercise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my handy dandy iPad here and I'm going to cover my notes. Or when I'm going to cover what I'm going to play. So I'm going to start with C, right? So you hear the first note as a reference. I'm going to be playing a melody and I'm going to be playing it in a particular direction, and you have to tell me what direction each of the next notes are going. I will be giving you the answers as I go, just to kind of help check your homework. You may even find yourself having to repeat this video a couple of times just to kind of get it down. But it's going to be a real simple exercise. It will just be a few notes. I won't keep you for too long. So we have C. So what direction is the next note going? Listen very closely. Let me see if I can cover my hand too, because I don't want you guys to be looking at my wrists to see. Okay, here we go. Yeah, you can't see anything now. All right, so back to C. And then what direction is this note going? If you said the direction was up, you are correct. So now from here, so we're here now. What direction is the next note going? Listen closely. If you said the direction was up, you are once again correct. So we are here at which is E. Now, don't ever assume what the next note is going to be because I will make it random. From here, what direction is the next note going? If you said up, you are once again correct. Now, from here, what direction is the next note going? If you said down, you are correct. Now, from here, what direction is the next note going? If you said down, you are correct. We'll do one more. What direction is this note going? So we're here. What direction is the next note? If you said up, you are correct. So the thing about ear training is that it does take a little bit of time. So even if you've gotten a few of them not right, don't fret. This is something that is completely new to you. You may have to go back and listen to this exercise a few times before you can train your ear to be able to tell the difference between whether a note is going up or going down. That is the whole idea of ear training, and that is the whole idea of this exercise. The more you do it, the better you will get at it. And I will be releasing more exercise videos as simple as this. So again, even as a complete beginner, you'll be able to grasp it and be able to get your foot in the door. I did mention I was going to give you guys a surprise. So I do have another video where you'll get to learn piano chords by ear using a particular simple trick that I like to use. That video is going to be provided at the top right corner of this video. So if this tutorial was helpful, be sure to not only subscribe, but also turn on the notification bell, because what happens is even if you subscribe, whenever I post a new video each week, you will not get a notification until you turn on that bell. So if you want to stay updated with new tutorials, turn on the notification bell and subscribe. That way, whenever I release a new video, it will pop up right on your phone and you'll be able to watch through it. Also, make sure that you like this video because it helps get more views. YouTube will help push it, through the algorithm. And also share it with other people that you think might, find this video useful. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comment section. I would be more than happy to help you with those. So thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you in my next tutorial. Take care.